Hello everybody, I'm Lorenzo Marchese and I'm here right at the beginning of this video we're about to watch to remind you to subscribe to my channel. It's very helpful if you do, and also please tell your friends, your family members, and share it if you can. Love to hear your comments and feedback, but just want to make sure you subscribe. Thanks for watching and we'll see you soon. Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of the Geek Authority Show. I'm your host Lorenzo Marchese, and yes, this is the exciting show where I get to interview all kinds of talented and wonderful people, be they actors, writers, producers, musicians, directors, cosplayers, authors, you name it. I'm trying to talk to everybody in and around the entertainment industry. Today, I have a very special guest. I say guest because it's a group. The group is called TheKeyOfF. And the singers and producers and performers of this production include Marie Pettit and AndieK. Did I get that right?
Yes.
Okay. Ladies, I appreciate you doing the show, and being musicians and performers, I've got to ask that very first question. How did you two meet? How did you guys match up your musical interests, and how did that all come about?
Well, first of all, I just have to say, Lorenzo, thank you for having us on. This is so exciting. You interview so many cool people, and you're listing all these types of people you interview, and I'm like, I want to be all those things.
Me too. So,
but yeah, so how we got started. Let's see. I had an infamous party where, you know, I like to have infamous parties where we get excited and wear costumes and do Halloween or do Oscars, that kind of thing. And Andie was a guest of a very good friend of mine.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you met at this party, and just for the audience members out there, Marie and her husband, Christopher, have these wonderful parties, you know, prior to the pandemic, for the various seasons that were out there, including the Academy Award season. Halloween was fun. I believe there was a 4th of July a couple times, all kinds of seasons. And you get to dress up, and everything's themed. And let me tell you, they dress up their house in an amazing design of whatever that theme is. For example, one year we came in and we walked into do you remember the temple in Indiana Jones? And the idol is sitting there. We're all like blown away. But anyway.
Thank you. We have fun. We don't have kids, so this is what we do.
There you go. Well, you have one kid, little puppy.
Well, we have a dog.
Yes. Okay. And Andie, at this party, did you guys just start talking about music, or did you just say, hey, I'm a singer, I'm a writer, how did that happen?
Well, Marie and I, our mutual friend, Daniel Corey, who I've known for ever. I mean, he's also from Orlando, and I'm from Orlando. Daniel had introduced us, and he was like, oh, you know, Andie sings, and I worked with her in Orlando, and we did shows together. And Marie was like, oh my gosh, we're going to do some singing later. I hope you'll sing with us. And I was like, okay. I was a little apprehensive. It was a new experience, but later on in the evening, Marie came up to me and she was like, do you know the song Bloodletting by Concrete Blonde? And I went, duh. She was like, come on, we're going to do it, right? And I'm like, wait, right now? Okay. And I got brought into the music room where Marie
picture me grabbing her arm and going, come on.
And Marie does that. I think to do that.
And I found myself in front of a microphone, and Marie was on guitar, and we started singing Concrete Blonde's Bloodletting. And when we got to the chorus and Marie joined me in singing, we both went, yeah, we liked the way our voices blended together. And after that song, I was like, oh my God, that was fun. I really like singing with you. She was like, what else do you know?
Very cool. And do you have, gotta ask, do you guys have the same music interests, styles? or are you coming from, a jazz, pop,
We
rock?
kind of have crossover. We're like a Venn diagram, and I'm over here, and I've got Olivia Newton-John and Barry Manilow and Queen and classic rock, and then we come in the middle, and here's our classic rock sliver, and then over here you have Andie's part of the Venn diagram, which Andie, I will let you describe.
Which is KMFDM, Combi Christ, Suicide Commandos, The Birthday Massacre, Rob
Lorenzo,
Zombie.
you look scared.
I am, because
He's like, what?
I'm not. I mean, I've heard of some of those, but I'm not familiar with their music. So I'm old. What can I say?
So there's a lot of we're coming from but there is crossover. I mean, when training and stuff, the standards, Marie and I definitely have a crossover in rockabilly music and swing music and the standards that,
Wow.
because that was something that I ended up being educated by with my grandmother. I spent a lot of time with my gran, and she loved the Rat Pack and Frank Sinatra, and so I grew up listening to those songs. Wow. And that was something else that Marie and I have in common.
I got to give a shout out to Marie, because she did say my favorite artist, and I think you know who that is. I didn't know if it would come up, but I didn't want to say a word. Mr. Barry Manilow, I've always been a fan of his, but then again, I said I'm old, so that's my. Okay, now you touched on it, Andie, a little bit. You said you're from Florida, so your background, and we're going to start you're next, Marie. Coming from Florida, did you have an interest in music? Do you play instruments? Were you raised with music?
I was not raised with music. I was raised in a household where neither parent sang, neither parent played instruments. They were very much non-creative types. So I was literally like the redheaded stepchild in my family, who ended up starting singing at a very, very early age. And then in Orlando, I eventually got cast with Disney World and Universal Studios, and I started singing with them, and I branched out into
in Florida, in the Florida parks.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and what did you do? Were you part of those like live entertainment shows?
Yeah, I was a singer in a all-girl 4-part harmony a cappella group that went through. We worked for both Disney and Universal, and we also did outside gigs in various hotels. I was also, this wasn't in the park, but we have something that's now called Disney Springs. I say we like I'm still living there, but they have something called Disney Springs, where there's a bunch of their House of Blues is there. And I used to perform at the House of Blues with a cover band called Motown Madness. And they did all of the really classic, cool rock and roll, the Blues Brothers, Aretha Franklin. They had some Cher in there. I mean, it was really some amazing, and I did backup work with them.
Now, did you enjoy that whole theme park experience? It sounds like you were an independent contractor because you went from park to park.
I was actually an employee of both parks. It's so hard because when you're living in a smaller community like Orlando, I had 3 or 4 different jobs that I would work just to try to pay the mortgage on my house, and Disney and Universal is one of them. And then I did shows at night. I was doing dinner theater shows, but at Disney and Universal, I was considered an actual employee because I also did a little bit of acting work. I was Rogue in the X-Men. I was also Natasha from Boris and Natasha, which I found myself being most often. I was Wilma Flintstone. So it was kind of like, once you're there, it was a great environment because they'll seed you anywhere that they can. So if you're doing one thing and you're the right type for something else, the company will approach you and say, could you please audition for this, you know? And I remember somebody was like, you're the right height and you're the right look. Can you do a Russian accent? And I went, no, but I can learn. And they're like, can you learn in the next 5 minutes? Because we really want to bring you in and have it. I'm like, okay. And I literally got thrown into, you know, into the baptismal fire of doing a Natasha accent kind of on the fly. And I ended up doing several different shows as Natasha within Universal Studios. And one was a singing and dancing show. And I got to tell you, singing like Natasha Fatale, that is not an easy feat. That was not something. I was very, very glad when.
But it sounds like you had quite a bit of acting experience to go with that whole process. Or you
it was on the fly. The acting stuff that I did it was a lot of fun. You know, it was a lot of fun to embody Rogue, and Rogue especially was a lot of fun because her history within Marvel is so deep and so rich that was great. And
so as Rogue, you were singing and dancing, or were you like?
No, I wasn't singing and dancing as Rogue, but I was out in the park and doing meet and greets with kids, and it was great because so many children knew who my character was, and I'm talking to them as my character. I remember this one little boy had come up to me, and he looked at me, and he was like, "You're not Rogue," and I was like, what makes you think that? He was like, you're not Rogue. You don't even know where she got her powers from. And I got down and I bent down on one knee and I proceeded to tell him the history of where I got my powers from. And then I looked at him and I said, thank you very much for bringing up a bad memory. I don't like to talk about it, but you're special. So I'll talk about it with you. But please don't have anybody else come up and ask me. And his eyes got really wide and he went, oh my God, I'm so sorry. You really are Rogue. You really are. He was like, please don't touch me without your gloves on. I'm like, don't worry about it. I'm not gonna. So it was so much fun to be able to watch a child's face.
And from an acting standpoint, you got to realize a lot of what you're doing is improvisational. I mean, you have the knowledge, you have the background, but you don't know what the kids are going to ask or how they're going to respond.
Yeah.
And that's a good sign of acting and improv and going with the flow. I got to ask, when did you move to Los Angeles? Is it recent, or have you been out here a while?
I've been out here for a little while. It's what year is it? Pandemic. I've been out here for 9 years now.
Okay.
Oh my God, I can't believe it's been 9 years.
Was it the industry that brought you out, or music?
Yeah, well, my things in Orlando, the industry was drying up. You know, the cover band that I was singing with, we weren't booking as many shows at places, you know, like Hard Rock Cafe and House of Blues, and the 4-girl a cappella group that I was doing, we did not get our contract renewed at Universal. So there went that income. So I was like, you know what, maybe it's time for a change of scenery. And so I ended up moving out here and seeing what the landscape was out here. And I had friends out here too. My friends Daniel and Brenda Corey were out here, and I had another friend of mine who was also he's a very talented singer and producer in an a cappella group who won Broadway awards for his shows. He was out here. So I was like, okay, so at least I have some contacts and they'll be able to point me in the right direction. And that's kind of what Daniel did when he introduced me to Marie. He was like, you've got to meet my friend Marie. I think the two of you would get along really great. Yeah.
Very cool. Okay, Marie, your turn. So you are not a native Californian?
No, I'm from Texas, actually. I'm from Houston. Yeehaw.
Okay. So in Texas, when you were born, did you come out of, jump out of the operating room onto the stage, or what did you do?
Kind of. When I was little, I wanted to be a ballerina. I wanted to be a dancer. And from when I was very little, I was like, please let me take dance lessons, please. And my parents said, okay, let's wait till you're like in first grade at least. And I was like, okay. And then I was about 5 or 6, and I started taking ballet and tap and jazz, and which was really fun. I did that all the way through high school. I wasn't that great. I'm not exactly built like a ballerina, but I had a lot of fun. And I keep thinking I want to get back into tap dancing because I really dug that.
That's good training too.
They still fit.
It's good training for you too, as far as, did you get the acting bug then? Because I know you're an actor.
Well, kind of, yeah. So I was, doing my dance classes, and I was always a cut up and making jokes, and just I've always been the comic relief. That's kind of been my thing, I think, my whole life. And you tell a joke and people laugh, and it feels pretty good. So I've always tried to entertain and make people smile and laugh, and it's just been a thing. And then somewhere in probably high school, I started kind of getting the acting bug and like school plays. I was like, I think I want to do this, and I want to at least audition and see what happens. And I auditioned, and I started doing school plays, and there was a community theater I started getting involved in. And so I loved.
Did you do a lot of musicals in high school? Because
we didn't do a lot of them, actually. I went to kind of a small high school, and so our drama department wasn't very big, and we were like, hey, who's going to direct our play? We want to do a play. And so we kind of did smaller scale productions, but I was always singing. I grew up kind of opposite to Andie. I grew up in a house where my mom said, all right, kids, you're all going to learn to read music. You're going to learn to sing, harmonize, and read music and play an instrument. We're like, okay. So all of us played some instrument. We all read music, and harmonizing is like my favorite thing in the whole wide world. And my mom was actually in the Sweet Adelines, which is like the female version of Barbershop Quartet. In fact, that's her on the wall back there. There's a quartet of ladies. And she's one of them. And so she was very big into, let's listen to music. Let's find more harmonies in this music. And I sang in church.
How many instruments do you play? Do you play?
I play piano.
All of them.
all of them. I don't play instruments where you have to go, which is trumpet, all the brass. I tried. Those are ridiculous.
You play the kazoo. You have to go.
Yeah, but you just have to hum. I can do that. Yeah, I tried the brass. I was like, you guys do that. But guitar, piano, I can fake it on drums. My husband's a drummer, but I do love sitting behind the drum set and playing.
You play drums really good. I've heard you play drum. I'm sorry. I can fake it.
I can keep a beat. I can play bass a little bit.
I've seen you do drums. I've seen you play guitar. I've seen you sing all the time. The beautiful harmonies, both of you ladies.
Thank you.
Watching your videos and things, it's really, really nice. Now, I don't think I've seen at Marie's party the two of you sing together.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't think I've seen that. But
we'll have to make that happen.
Yes,
absolutely.
We also do a lot of karaoke too, which is fun.
Okay.
That's when we pull out those old standards.
Back to you, Marie. When did you decide to come to Los Angeles? Was it the dream of being a rock star, or was it?
It was more driven by acting. I actually did play in a band in Houston for a while also. And I was doing a lot of improv and occasional commercials or films. And I was like, okay, I feel like I want to do more of this. And I love television. I love sitcoms. So I was like, all right, if I'm going to do those things, I probably need to be in LA. And so I was like, okay, I guess I got to go. And it was somewhere along the way, because I had been a school teacher for a while, and I was like, living life, doing all that, being in a band, being a teacher. But I was like, I think I need to be in LA.
I've seen you on stage in several dramas and comedies and things like that, and you're quite a sharp performer as well.
Oh, so thank you.
I found out about the music side of you at your parties. So I'm like, oh my God, she can sing too. So, but I haven't seen you in a musical yet. Like an actual musical production yet. So
right.
You got to do that.
Okay.
All right. So let's real quick. Let's share. I want to share something here. You can tell us a little bit about these wonderful especially the photographer who did this work here, these photos. I'm assuming this is like, your publicity, album cover, promote the Key of F.
So this one was focused on, so we've had a couple of singles released already, more to come, but we've had a couple of singles released, and one of those singles, as Andie kind of alluded to earlier, had a rockabilly vibe to it. And it's called Feel in the Mood. And we were like, okay, if we're going to do a rockabilly song, we need to have some pictures that kind of fit that vibe. And I have a convertible. So we're like, we need to sit in the back of the convertible. So this particular photo was taken by my husband, Christopher Gregson. And he he drove around and just found a few cool sites, and we're like, okay, if we can get this spot right at sunset, he's like, the lighting, it'll be just right. And so we had a lot of fun. And then Andie is kind of my costume whisperer, so she was like giving me suggestions of what cool things to wear for the type of photo shoot, because she's got a good eye for that.
Absolutely. I love the dresses. I love the shoes. And is Chris getting that attitude out of you as the photographer? The smiles and the cheekiness?
Oh yeah. He was, I think, would it be fair to say, Andie, he was kind of egging us on the whole time?
Yeah, a little, yeah.
And by egging, you mean what? What do you mean?
Like, just sort of like, okay, ladies, all right, come on, let's see that attitude, and let's, and just sort of like getting us to get the right kind of smirks on our faces. I feel like there were a few photos, not for public viewing. Okay. We're like, okay, Chris, you want this look?
I love the focus. I mean, you're looking right at the two of you. It's great, composition and everything. The lighting, the sun in the background. It's very nice.
Yeah, that was.
How cute.
This was one of those from that also.
That's my favorite.
I love that.
My favorite shot.
Wow. When he wasn't egging us on, he was making us laugh and making us giggle and just being our silly selves.
Now that's a pretty cool little tattoo there.
Thanks. I wish it was actually mine. It's that is not one of mine. I do have a few tattoos, but that one is not one of them.
Okay, we'll go to the next picture.
Speaking of fake tattoos,
yes.
Wow.
Okay, what's going on here? This looks like a park.
This was done in Griffith Park, and our friend Daniel Corey was the photographer on this. We wanted to do an album cover for the same song, which Feel in the Mood, which was the last single that we had released. And I had an idea. I loved the look of the accounts payable girls in the movie John Wick. They would sit there with their gray skirts and their pink shirts, with their hair all done in the 1950s, and they were all tatted up with their rings and stuff. And I had said to Marie, I said, I want to use that accounts payable girls as an idea for our album cover, but there is no way in hell that I'm wearing a pink shirt. You can wear the pink shirt. Actually.
And you guys look gorgeous.
Thank you. So, and this was one of the pictures from that shoot. It's very similar to what our single album cover actually did look like.
And it's funny because the John Wick movies are really, really good. I really enjoyed them. And I always was thinking about that look, that design they had with the wardrobe and even the sets in terms of how they shot that. But yeah, you definitely got that vibe.
Oh, thanks.
Okay. I know where this is. This is Disney, right?
Yeah. That's right. We went downtown around the Walt Disney Concert Hall and just had a great time. This was us taking photos for our first single release, which is called Lies. And
our very first band photo shoot too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So we went, and this was also with Daniel Corey, and we're like, let's just walk around downtown and have some fun and take some pictures. And
did you
and
change
I didn't
wardrobe?
wear pink, but but I do have a pink streak in my hair. So
I can see it. I can see it. Did you guys have like wardrobe changes when you did these shoots or no?
Yeah.
You did? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was awkward. Trying to
like, please have an available bathroom.
yeah, which, you know, we ended up changing in corners outside at the Walt Disney Concert Hall.
Yeah, been there, done that.
You know, facing inward, Marie standing behind me, and Daniel with his back to us going, I'm not looking, and he's like doing this.
Holding up our jackets.
Drawing more attention to you guys, changing.
Right? He's like, what on earth is
Nothing
that?
to see here. Nothing to see here.
Don't look, don't look. Okay, so what do we got here? This looks like you're on the sidewalk? No.
This was actually still the Walt Disney Concert Hall. It was, we were wandering around and we were just looking for ideas and inspiration, and they had this really cool design on the floor, and I wanted to take some pictures with it, and I can't remember if it was me or if it was Marie or Daniel. Somebody said, hey, lay down on the floor. Right there on the, and I remember we laid down and head to head and put our sunglasses on, and I think it was Daniel who said, mirror each other with whatever you're doing. So I was like, okay, and we did, and this ended up becoming the album, the single cover for Lies, for our very first.
Very nice. Love this.
One of my favorite shots.
Me too. Yeah, this is one of my favorites.
This was actually a little bit more of a test shot that Daniel was doing at the beginning of our shoot, where Marie and I, once again, were just kind of goofing off and making each other laugh. And he just caught us in a very us moment.
But it's real. Yeah. It's real. Very nice. This is cool. This is cool. Look at you. Oh.
Look at that fierce singer. Oh my gosh, look at her.
This pretty much, Chris Gregson took this, and he ended up snapping such a brilliant shot because it explains the difference in the personality of Marie and I. This is pretty much, it sums it up in one photograph. Look at Marie back there. She's loving, she's warm, she's smiling. And then look at me. I just want to kill everyone. And that's pretty much how our personalities go.
Okay, well,
I have to protest. I have yet to see Andie actually kill anybody, and she's very warm.
Because I'm smart about it. I don't tell people, and I hide the bodies really well.
Okay, listen, Andie, I've known you for what, 40 minutes now, and you do not seem this kind of personality. I like the fact.
Give it time. I've got you fooled. All part of my plan.
The fact that you got this powerful projection about you. I mean, it says a lot about you as a group in terms of, we're here to stay. How's that?
Well, and like that, because that look on her face, I feel like that's the attitude that Andie's able to tap into when she's singing. And it's really awesome because like we'll be in the studio working on something or just rehearsing together. And when she taps into that, it comes out through her voice, and it's really something to hear. Like this song, so this picture, this is on the roof of my house.
No way.
We were making a video for our song Lies, and we had a film crew here, and Chris was actually just kind of snapping some candids of us because he was like, y'all look really cool. I'm going to snap some pictures. And so we're filming in between takes. Chris would be like, hey, look over here. Or I forgot what he said in this particular moment, but he was snapping these shots of us. And, but we were filming a video for a song called Lies. And that song comes from a very deep place. And it's dealing with breakup, dealing with heartache, but in a very, I'm taking control kind of way. And that's the look that Andie's got. And that's what comes through her voice. So when you hear the song Lies, picture that face, because that's where all that force comes from.
Wow. Okay. Disney. I love the background. The gold. It's kind of making your hair glow. It's making your eyes like sparkle.
Yeah, this was another one of Daniel's shots from that very first photo shoot that we did. We got so many awesome promotional pictures from everybody, from Marie's husband Chris, from Daniel Corey. We've had Alex Calise, who also performed on Lies with us. We've had her take some photographs, and
Wow.
really
And can I make an observation? It looks like Marie has now got a little bit of a stingy attitude, and you're the one smiling.
yeah.
I could tap into it when I need to.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, I don't want to mess with either of you. All right, whatever. All right, I got to ask this question of the two of you. The key of F. How did you come up with the key of F?
So Marie and I were practicing a cover song years ago, and it was called, the cover song was, it's still one that we do today. It's Down to the Bottom by Dorothy. And we were working on this, and Marie was learning it and I was singing it. We were finding the harmonies, and I kept asking her, I was like, wait, what key is this? And she's like, we're in the key of F. And I'm like, okay. 2 seconds later, I'm like, what's the key? She's like, F. Andie, it's F. It's the key of F. And I'm like, that would be a cool band name. We had a laundry list of band names that were possibilities.
Oh, throw some out. What were
some of them were just kind of silly.
Some of them were very silly. One of the ones that we were considering was Valiant Effort.
Not bad.
Like that one.
We would do a song and I'd be like, well, I think we gave that a valiant effort.
So that got put on the list. I think Zodiac Graveyard, we had put on the list for a moment. Posterity was on the list, but we couldn't have that one because it's already taken by another band.
So basically you're saying, what key are we in? Key of F, Marie would say. And you both said, you know what? Let's do it.
Just kind of sounded right. We're like, that's kind of cool. And not too, it's also not too specific, because like certain band names might lead you to assume a certain sound. And yeah, Graveyard, it's like,
Okay, so how would you guys describe your sound? What is your genre of music that you as originals do you?
It's rock and roll, but it's a gritty kind of swamp rock, alternative rock, I think is the best way that to describe it. Our song Feelin' the Mood, our latest single, that was kind of an outlier. It was a hybrid between rockabilly and swing, but Lies is more of what our sound is actually about. And we're in the studio right now doing our other album, and our stuff now sounds a lot more like Lies than.
So how many albums do you have? How many?
Well, this is our first one that we're working on right now.
We've got the 2 singles.
Yep.
2 singles.
And now we're putting together an actual album.
Yeah.
Wow. Very cool. Okay. Oh, that's a nice little segue to this, where we jump to. Let me push the proper buttons because I know what I'm doing. No,
I don't doubt that for 1 second.
You better. Okay, here we go. All right. Can you see the shared screen?
Yay.
Okay. So we have here, this is the key of F. Can you see?
Yeah.
Okay. So you want to walk us through? This is the Key of F website?
Yeah, this is our website. On the very top left-hand side, you can see all of the links to our social media and our Spotify, our Facebook, our Instagram, our YouTube, and Apple Music as well, of course. And we have some photos up there. We have a little about section. And every once in a while, we'll post some updates on our website too, as far as kind of what's going on and what's happening with us. I think there should be a menu.
Over here?
Yes. And I think it says, what's going on?
Okay, do you guys have an email sign up thing so people can get like updates or, blasts from you?
We don't really do an email sign up. We blast it out on Instagram and Facebook, and of course on our website too. And this was the newsy stuff that we were in for. So that was fun. That was quite a shock to
Very
make
cool.
music connections, Hot 100 Live Unsigned Artists list. So that was a big deal. We were really surprised. And we are also now an endorsed artist with Dirtbag Clothing, who is going to be doing our merchandising.
Woohoo!
Wow. When did that happen?
That happened. Dirtbag, Marie, when did Dirtbag endorse us?
I want to say it's so weird with the pandemic because time is kind of in a weird, like we're in a weird time bubble. But I feel like it was right at the beginning of that. And now we're working with them and getting a t-shirt put together and stuff.
Okay. So that means you'll have do you have a logo, a band logo?
Yes.
Let me see. Is that it?
Yes, it is.
There we go.
The Key of F. Okay.
Yep.
Very cool. I like that. Simple. Says everything.
Right? It does.
All right. Now this is Spotify. So
everybody should go there.
Everyone. Now. Right now.
Go there. Get our songs.
Wait. No. After the interview, then go.
Oh,
okay.
Right. Not right now, but soon.
Right after. Okay. So these are looks like the two songs. The discography. You can tell me what's going on. I'm just kind of exploring.
Oh, it's we've got, those are our two songs, and if you want to, once the interview is done, please follow us on Spotify. That would be insanely helpful. And if you follow us on Spotify will automatically give you updates on our new music that's
when you
coming
drop
out.
things.
Yeah, it'll end up being on your account on your release radar. That's what Spotify calls it, because Spotify's cool like that. And please also follow us on YouTube. This is our YouTube channel where we're putting official music videos up. We've put interviews up, and we've also put some cover songs up that God love. Marie is wonderful. I've done a couple of covers that are still the key of F. I wish that because they were done during the pandemic, I couldn't actually get Marie to be there and sing with me. So there are a couple things up there that I did on my own, but you'll find past interviews with Marie and I and our official music videos that are on our YouTube.
How about current interviews? Will they be?
And yes, they will absolutely be on there as well. Well, the interview has to happen first, Lauren, so before I can put it on our YouTube.
I'm always in the future. Anyway, here we go. Now, here we go. Key of F. This is Lies. Should I start a little bit? I don't want to play the whole song because I want people to go watch it themselves and like it. But is there a part of the song I should move to that we can look at and get a feel?
I don't know. Throw a dart, pick a spot in the middle, and we can, yeah.
Here we go. All right. Ooh.
Bridges you burn, hope they light you away. Karma is a vengeful bitch, she'll find you someday. All the years of laughter threw away in vain. From the queen of darkness, you're the king of pain. Can't tell what were lies and what was love.
You're on the roof?
Yeah.
Very cool. Wow, and that's called Lies, right?
Yeah.
But now in my head,
like that
I
song.
can't tell, I can't tell. See, I can't tell in my head now. All right, here we go. What's this one? This one is Freak Show.
This is us playing a cover of a Dead Posey song. and we are playing that, and we've got Christopher is on the drums and our friend Buddy is on the bass. And we're like, hey, this is one of our favorite songs to cover. We're like, let's get some video of this. And so Chris set up, that's a 360 camera, I believe, right?
Yep.
Kind of got a fisheye feel to it.
Yeah.
Wow. Chris is doing the camera?
He's playing and he recorded it, and then he took the images and edited them together.
Oh, this is all editing. Wow. Cheers, Chris. Wow. So, okay, I'm going to go technical on you. How is that camera moving around the room?
So it's like, if I'm correct, and Andie, you may know more about this than I do, but it's like it's kind of like a fisheye 360 that he put in the middle. And so it's recording all of us 360 degrees. And then when we were done, he can take those images and he can bend them and fold them and do different effects with the images that the camera took.
Wow.
Does that sound right, Andie?
Yep. Yeah, you nailed it.
Okay. I'm like, here's what I think happens.
Okay, Instagram.
Instagram.
So all you music fans.
Puppy.
Aw.
That's my little nightmare. That dog.
Oh, okay. What's his name? Her name?
His name is Baymax.
Baymax from the movie?
Yeah, Big Hero Sniffs.
Wow.
Big Hero Sniffs. Perfect.
That's my little gargoyle right there. Yeah, that's him.
Wow.
So yeah, we usually will post some updates and news on our Instagram and behind the scenes things. We love engaging with followers and fans and meeting new friends and stuff like that. And we like to, I don't know, just I guess kind of keep it real. You know,
that's always good. Down to earth, approachable.
Yeah. Maria and I are we're just us.
Right.
And this is our Facebook.
There's
page.
Lorenzo.
I know that guy.
Also, to point out, our Instagram and Facebook, when you go to look those up, it's TheKeyOfF_F.
Okay.
Yeah, so when you're on Instagram and Facebook, look up TheKeyOfF_F. I believe it's YouTube though, where we don't have the underscore.
No, we don't have the underscore. And if you don't want to end up getting a bunch of musical tutorial videos on how to play in the key of F, you may want to put in search the key of F either Marie Pettit or the key of F AndieK, and we'll come up, or the key of F band, and we'll be
good to know.
Yeah,
it looks like
and that's our live. We did that video there with that's my dog. That was us doing a live stream show.
Hey everybody!
Hello. This was actually recent.
Yeah,
it says March 20th.
Waiting on Facebook, so
we finally started to be able to get together. It's still social distance, but
yay! Yay! This is the Key of F. It is our very, very first live stream. So we really do appreciate you guys being here. So thank you. My phone is so far away to actually see who's come in. I'm gonna have to actually get up and look. So bear with me. Hey, oh my gosh.
I'm guessing
hey
Chris
guys,
is on a camera.
Iron Man, yep. Tragic. Allison, I gotta give a shout out.
How'd you get the TheKeyOfF logo on your video? Is that a live stream thing?
thank you.
So,
Chris put that on. He was able to embed it. He didn't just run it directly into the computer. He ran it through a camera into the computer.
Right.
And he was like, "Oh, I want to put that image on there. That'll be cool," which it was.
Yeah.
Making everything purty.
You guys look pretty professional to me.
Available for hire.
There's Chris.
All right.
Available for hire.
Without further ado, let's
Okay,
get
that's
into music. We're gonna
That's well, we'll get into that in a minute, but let's go ahead.
Side with the devil, side with the devil, side with the devil. Oh, side with the devil, side with the devil, side with the devil. Oh, take me down, take me down, won't you? Take me down.
You go, girl.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Oh,
Okay.
AndieK.
Yes. And this interview will appear in the future, right? Wait for it. Wait for it. Or maybe not. There it is. The Geek Authority. Okay. So that's a question. I was kind of watching you two, kind of watching me watch you. But Andie, you seem a little, are you comfortable watching yourself?
No.
Okay. You kind of, Marie and me are like getting it. You're kind of like pulled back a little.
Yeah. I sit back here and I go,
Really? Why is that? You got a beautiful voice.
oh, thank you.
You guys have wonderful harmonizations. Marie plays and sings. I mean, it's where does that come from? Is it just shyness or?
I've always had anxiety. Like while I'm up there, while I'm in front of a microphone or in the studio or on stage performing, while I'm doing it, I'm fine. And I babble like a complete idiot because I'm up there and I'm jazzed. But as soon as I come off stage, and I know that this is really hard to figure out, but out of this relationship with me and Marie, I'm the introvert. And I know you would never be able to guess that in a million years. She's the extrovert. But I'm very introverted. There's a lot of like watching myself. I come from a background where it was not easy. It was getting to this point to where I'm like, okay, I'm doing this. I'm comfortable with this. It wasn't easy because I was really very bullied. I was told that I wasn't good enough to be a singer. I was not pretty enough to be a singer. It was really, really a struggle to get here, to be like, no, I'm going to do it. So I still have a tendency to fall back into anxiety, and I watch myself and I'm like, oh, I didn't hit that note right. Oh, that should have been better. And I'm taking notes in my head. So while you guys are like, you're getting into it and you're doing that, I'm like, oh, I got to fix that for next time.
And I totally every artist I think is pretty self-critical at some point, and sometimes to a degree where it might be detrimental for them, because it's like, hey, get out of your head, get out of your own head, because what you're doing is good and you're just being overly critical. So
I get that way.
Out of my own way.
I think I get that way before we do a show, because Andie's like, all right, you'll play this and I'll sing it and then you'll sing the harmonies. And I'm like, wait, I'm going to play what? And she's like, that song, you can play that. And I'm like, I can't play that song. And she's like, yes, you can play that song. I'm like, I don't think I can play that song. And we'll rehearse. And I'll be like, I can't play that song. So mine's all leading up to the show.
Right. So you're in your head, you're thinking the instruments, the musical part?
Yeah.
Right. Because you're right there when you're singing. I mean, you can clearly hear it.
I appreciate that. And again, practice. We work together a lot. We have an amazing vocal coach who you also know, Darcy Monet. And
Hi,
she
Darcy.
works with us and she's fantastic. Like she helps us find those harmonies and she helps us blend. And
Okay, so here's a question that begs to ask itself is when you're recording something, you're doing your new single, you said, you've got the other two. So how do you know when you're, I don't want to say comfortable, happy, it's done? I mean, because it sounds like you're very critical of your own performance. Do each of you cancel each other out and say, hey, no, you got it, and then you go, no, you got it, and then that's the final cut, or
Yeah, we do to an extent. We do talk each other out of, like, if I start getting lost in my head or really anxious about something, Marie's really good about talking me off a ledge, and I try to return the favor when she's in a place where she's like, I can't do that, I can't do that. With the singles and going through and listening to the playback, it's all about whether or not I feel good about it. And I know that Marie's been really supportive. If there's something about part of a section where part of a verse where if everybody else is happy with something and I go to her and I go, I don't like it, I'm not happy with it because of X, Y, and Z. She goes, okay, well then do you want to do it over? I'm like, I do. I want to do that. I want to re-record that first until I am happy with it and I like it. And that goes vice versa too. If we really like something or I really like something and everybody else doesn't like it and they're like, no, you need to not do that. You need to not. I'm like, but we like it. No, we like, and Marie will be like, we like it. It's our song.
Done. But it does. I mean, we have a lot of input, which we value tremendously. We've got a producer. We have a lot of people who help team Key of F, and we listen to every single thing they have to say and suggest. But at the bottom line is, hey, Andie and I wrote this song. That's how we want it to sound. So that's the one we're keeping. But it is a good team effort, and sometimes it does take that team to say, yeah, that did sound cool. And we're like, okay, like if we're sort of doubting ourselves, we're like, did it? And if the rest of the team is like, yeah, that works. We're like, okay. So it's a good collaborative effort, but the bottom line is these are songs Andie and I are writing together. And we're like, how do we want this song to sound?
When the two of you agree, that's it.
We're like, that's it. We're good.
Okay, so that begs the second question. So what about moments when you're on opposite ends? How do the debates, how do you decide which way to go?
It really, most of the songs we've written together, but it's always ended up being like someone's brainchild. For example, Lies was my brainchild. And I was the one who started the process of writing it. And Marie, I got the lyrics down and Marie came over and we started finding a melody and whatnot. Feel in the Mood was Marie's brainchild. It was the seed of that idea was hers. And she was like, I want to write us a song where we can do like a modern Andrew Sisters. And I was like, rockabilly. She was like, yeah, but with more swing.
But also with guitars. Yeah.
So whoever brainchild it is, that's kind of, if I really, really like something, but it was on Feel in the Mood and Marie's like, yeah, I don't like it, then it's out.
We will default. Absolutely. Which I think is cool because we both have like this understanding, like you thought of this idea, we're fleshing it out together, but it's your idea. So in the end, if you're like, gosh, I really want a dog barking at the very end. That's how I've always heard it. It's like, but then we're going to get a dog barking.
Yeah.
I wish there would be a lot of bands still together today if they had, the members thought that way in terms of songs. Seriously.
Well, we've always been, it's really nice because the working relationship between working with Marie is just such a joy. Oh my God.
You know what? We're nice people. We're nice people.
Well, you are.
Okay.
You are too. We respect each other.
I'm going to be devil's advocate here. Okay, let me interview you 20 years from now when you're on your 17th gold platinum album, and let's see what you're like then. Okay.
Sidebar, like, oh my gosh, why is Marie still talking? Why is Marie still talking? Do something. What? Oh no.
Very cool. Okay, now again, I'm going to put you girls on the spot. So let's start with Marie. Marie, what would you say are Andie's best qualities?
Oh no. Oh wow, look at that. Something's on fire over here. I gotta go.
You know what? I'm going to tell you something that doesn't even take any thought whatsoever. She's freaking photogenic. I am so jealous. you can put a camera in her face, and even if she's not like ready or whatever, she will take an amazing photo. And I'm not the only one who thinks that. The photographers who've worked with us, I'm like, isn't she ridiculously photogenic? And they're like, yes, like she just, so there's that. But also I will say, another amazing quality of Andie is that when she has an idea in mind, like I have an idea for a song, or I have an idea for how something's going to sound, or how this is going to look, she's driven. And it's really awesome because I'm not that driven. I'm a little lazy. And so she's very driven, and she'll be like, I have this idea. What do I need to do to make that happen? Like for the photo shoot, she's like, I have this idea, and I think these are the ways to make that look like that. And for a song, she'll be like, I can hear it in my head, and here's what I think needs to come together to make that happen. And it's really cool, and it's inspiring, and sometimes exhausting because I'm a little lazy.
Well, okay. I definitely agree on the photogenic side. Obviously, her talent in the music, you can hear it. So, Andie, tell us a little bit about Marie.
She is just light and love and laughter, and she walks into a room and she just lights it up.
Aww.
She's also, I must say, a little musical genius, because with some of the ideas that I have, I didn't grow up learning how to read music like she did. I just learned how to read music in 2019. So I'm still like, I can hear something, but I don't know what note it's in. I don't know if it's in the chord. I'm like, I think that it should go here. So Marie is really good about taking my Rain Man lyrics and melody ideas as I start singing something. And sometimes she's like, no, we can't do that. That's not in the chord. And then she'll be able to like adjust. We find something, or she'll find a note that's in the chord. And we're usually pretty together with, oh, I think it should go here, when we write and stuff like that. But just regularly working with her about things. She's very open. She's very open to trying new things. When I've come up with an idea on something for a photo shoot, or Marie is not the type of person to get attitudey with you and say, no, I don't want to do that. She's always down. She's always down to try something, as long as, and she knows I'm not going to throw something at her that's going to be morally objectable. So she's always willing to do that. And like I said, she really is. She's a joy to work with, and not exhausting at all.
Well,
Here's photogenic for you, babe.
there's a screenshot. Still shot.
Yes, please. I want that to be my Instagram profile picture.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, Andie, I'm just getting to know you, and from what I get, you're smart. You sounds like you're really intelligent. It sounds, obviously you're talented.
Sarcastic.
Hey, that's me. So you and I connect there. But
Yeah.
I do
And
have to
she's
say,
like, during the pandemic, she's like, hey, I think I'm going to start learning to play bass. like, oh my gosh, that's cool.
Yeah, because I didn't have enough stuff
right.
to do. Oh, I caught that. I caught it, Lorenzo. I caught it just for you.
Listen,
Yes.
like I said, I think you're a wonderful personality. I think you're funny and fun. But I have known Marie quite a bit longer, obviously. And I got to say, for the people watching, Marie is an amazingly warm and generous person. Whenever you go to an event, either she's at, or she says she's performing in, or one of her amazing parties, her and her husband, Chris, are gracious and kind and giving, and they don't make people like that anymore. And it's like,
Aw.
I seriously, Marie, you just bring warmth and friendship. That's why your parties are so much fun, and
Aw.
nobody go. For you and Chris, it must be crazy because nobody wants to go home. It's like, like 1 a.m. You're like, go home, people, go home.
Hey, if I'm still awake, I'm good to go.
So anyway, with that said, before we close out, people watching this, especially young musicians or people who want to get into the music business or write their own songs, things like that, as a group, as a team of composers and performers, do you have any advice for people on where to start, what to do, things to look out for?
Yeah. Don't let anybody else tell you who you can or cannot be. Make sure you follow what that little voice inside your heart is telling you. If you want to be a singer, to be the front person of a rock band, or be the guitarist or a bassist of a rock band, and everybody is telling you that you can't do it, don't listen. If you really want it, go after it. Go after it. Do what you have to do.
Yeah.
That's the advice that I would give somebody, is to believe in themselves, be their own cheerleader.
Yeah.
Or
And I
call
would-
Marie.
I would add to that, because that's excellent and absolutely. And I would add to that to work your craft. You can always learn. And that's with any artistic endeavor, or really any field. I mean, the most famous actors in the world are still going to acting class. They're still working out. So if you want to sing, get a vocal coach. Don't just think, oh, I can sing. Yeah, but get a vocal coach, and they'll help you hone in on those skills. If you want to play an instrument, take lessons, keep learning. There's online tutorials. Like, keep working your craft, because especially when you go someplace like LA, there are a lot of other people doing it, and that should never keep you from pursuing that dream. You should always keep going for it, but just be aware that there are a lot of other people doing it too. So when you get the chance to be in the room, be ready. Work on those songs, practice your guitar every day, sit at the drums for half an hour every day and work it out, and just keep staying on top of your craft.
Right. And who hasn't, I mean, in their lifetime, picked up a toothbrush or a spatula and pretended to be, whoever, Barry Manilow, Cher, and do that and think, can I do this? Go for it.
Yeah.
Give it a shot. Don't give up, because there's
Yeah.
a lot of rejection, isn't
yeah.
there?
Yeah.
There is, but you just got to keep trying. Exactly. Just keep trying. And if you're having fun, do it. Like, one of my mantras in life is enjoy the journey. Because if you're always worried about the destination, that's nice to have a focus. But if that's all you're worried about, it's like, but are you enjoying the journey? Like, one of my favorite things is getting together with Andie, which finally with the pandemic, we're finding ways to safely do it. We're like, okay, I'm going to sit 6 feet away from you with my guitar. One of my favorite things is just getting together with her and just singing and playing and trying stuff.
Creating. Yeah.
Like, enjoy the journey, and the destination's great. That's like icing on the cake, but enjoy the process. Do you like practicing? Do you like taking your lessons? It's like, yeah, I look forward to my lessons. And when I can't go, I'm like, oh, something was missing this week.
Yeah. And it's like, I believe it was Mr. Miyagi who said, it's not about the destination. It's about the journey to it. That's what life is all about. So Mr. Miyagi. Karate Kid, for those who don't know who that is, did I just date myself? Anyway.
Hi, everybody should know now.
Cobra. Oh, that's right. Cobra Kai.
Cobra Kai.
Absolutely. Okay. So those are absolutely wonderful words. Any final things you want to tell the audience out there? Or?
I just want to say thank you to Lorenzo, because
Yeah.
he's like, hey, you guys are doing something awesome and creative, and I want to interview you about it. And we really appreciate that you wanted to bring us into your world of awesomeness.
Oh, thank you. I mean, I'm all for entertainment and the arts. I think, and this show came about because I couldn't do reviews anymore. I used to do theater and concert reviews. So I'm like, what can I do? I says, let's keep the community alive. Let's talk to creative people, far more than me. But, and I found
You're the authority.
Aw.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No, but thank you so much for doing this. It's
Absolutely.
really,
But the
really
bottom
cool.
line is, with these conversations, we not only learn about you and what you're doing, but somebody may get this, hey, Marie said or Andie said, and then you might have inspired someone else, and you'll never know it, kind of thing. And if that happens once, it's worth it. For me, it's worth it.
Yeah.
So,
Totally.
I
not
agree.
to mention, you gals are kind of gorgeous and talented and wonderful. And yeah, look at her there. Look at Andie. She backs away from the camera.
There we go again.
And I lean in and I go, stop it.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is this my cue?
See how much fun they are? Anyway, ladies, I want to thank you for doing the show. It was amazing for me. I had so much fun. I hope you did. But for those who aren't aware, if you check somewhere around on the screen, you'll see there's a button that says subscribe. Please subscribe to the Geek Authority channel. You can see the Geek Authority show, where I interview people like these wonderful ladies. But also, real quick, I have a show, the TGA's Mysterious Chamber of Collectibles. That's where I go into my past, pull out things from under my bed in my closet, things that I've been collecting, rare items, things you can't get anymore. I also have a show called Unboxing the Geek Authority, where I get sent new things for the very first time. I open them up on camera in front of you. You see it, I see it, we see it for the first time. My reactions are usually genuine because I end up like playing with it. But I'm a big kid at heart. I also have TGA's reviews, opinions, and commentary. That's kind of subsidized my reviewing, what I used to do when the world was open. I kind of review my commentary on things, movies, TVs, that kind of stuff. I also have a show called TGA's Talk About, where I gather family and friends and we talk about common subjects. For example, we've talked about old TV shows, a group of us, Space 1999 with Martin Landau and Barbara Bain, to the new series like Cobra Kai on Netflix, as well as there's a very memorable three-part, it's supposed to be one show, three-part episodes on discussing Disneyland and California Adventure closing. Very sentimental. People brought their memorabilia and things, and got a little emotional. It's really cool to watch if you want to look at Disney from a completely different side. And lastly, I have a brand new show called Making Entertainment, and that's where I go behind the scenes of a TV production, film production, theater production, Zoom production, and I talk to the cast and crew, directors, writers, producers, actors, of a project that's coming but not yet released. So you get to see and hear and learn about the project, and hopefully you'll go enjoy the adventure when it's actually released. Other than that, I will stop talking now, ladies.
You're like Ryan Seacrest.
Yeah, you're
You
doing
have like
a lot.
50 jobs at once.
Wow. Well, I'll take that as a compliment. Thank you. But yeah, again, I can thank you so much, ladies. This has been so much fun for me, and I really, truly mean it. Andie, you are amazing. I'm so glad I got to know you a little better. Marie, you are on a pedestal for me. You are kind and wonderful and generous. And when the world opens up and everyone's got their vaccine, hopefully your parties will start back up. And,
Yes.
get
My
to
husband and I are one shot away. One shot.
Me too. Me too. Me and Michael. One shot. How about you, Andie? Have you been shot?
No, I have not.
Oh, okay.
Not yet. She's on the next wave.
I'm on the next wave.
It's open to everybody in
She's
California.
on the observing, and let's see how these other people
I
are growing
have
wings and
needles.
tails.
Unless you're giving me another tattoo, I have a thing about needles. So
Oh.
they are coming out with a vaccine nasal spray
Okay.
that is in development, and hopefully it's supposed to, last I heard, correct me if I'm wrong, Marie, is June was when
Oh,
I think they were
Maybe.
So
Maybe.
I was holding out hope that June they would have that, and I could go ahead and do the nasal spray without having to.
I'm the same way with needles. Trust me. I can't even get the flu shot without like cringing in 5 other rooms. So, but I get them anyway. Again, thank you so much for doing this. This was so much fun. You girls are amazing. The Key of F. All their information will be below, so you can click on all the links that we saw earlier, as well as their Instagram and Facebook and Spotify, and who knows, all their other fun stuff. And don't forget to share it as well. So thank you so much for watching, and ladies, let's say see you next time, and goodbye to everybody.
Thank you,
Bye.
Martha. Bye,
Thank you
everybody.
so much.